everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're on our I'm not sure what episode. I think we're on like episode 15 right now. And I have just a beautiful lady to bring on board. But before we do that, if you're first time watching, my name is Deborah McKenzie, and I'm the founder of the McKenzie Global Network. And we are doing a series on careers from home. Entrepreneurs from startup to seasoned. Now, what that means is, this whole series that we're doing, these 20 episodes, are all set up for people that are working from home. It could be all different types of projects, but there's nuggets that we're leaving for everybody. So you're going to get some insight, something, or please refer to somebody that could use this information. It's very valuable information. And I've worked very, very hard to find strategically the right people to come on board for all of us to get some good education and good nuggets from. So anything you see on here, please go to my website, the McKenzie Global Network.com, or you can go to the McKenzieNetwork.com. And you can scroll through, you can watch the replay of this also on my YouTube channel, which is the McKenzie Global Network also. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the guest I have today, drum roll. This woman has, I've seen this woman, I've worked with this woman. She's been an accountability partner to me. Actually, she's part of the reason that I got the McKenzie Network going. She was on calls with me, which I highly recommend. Get an accountability partner if you're just trying to get something off the ground, because don't do anything by yourself. Bring people on that are stronger than you to help and support. It makes all the difference in the world. At least it has for myself. So Catherine Bell she is a serial entrepreneur. She has investment companies. Her background is really strongly into real estate and investing in anywhere from commercial properties to distressed properties, many other things. But one of the beautiful things that she has created is she's created a financial literacy program, and she also has set up a nonprofit foundation for adoption. Yes, adoption. How can we help make a difference to adopt kids? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Our main topic is going to be Catherine. Thank you for calling in. Where are you calling in from?
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. Not too hot right now, I'm sure.
No, it's perfect. This is the time of year to be here.
This is definitely. So let's go ahead and get started. Tell us a little bit about what got you into the investment world and the real estate world in general.
That's a great question. So actually, I'm originally from Canada. My late husband, he was American, and it was when we got married, it was like, do we live in Canada? Do we live in the United States? And so at the end of the day, socialism, capitalism, I've got the entrepreneurial bug, so capitalism won. So we ended up down here and, turned his dream into a multi-million-dollar company. And then from there, it just continued to grow. And so one of the things that I love is, we talk about success leaves clues, right? And so I started studying all these other very successful people. And at the end of the day, in all of their portfolios, there was always part of their portfolios in real estate, right? So success leaves clues. And my background was interior design. So I love the befores and afters, all of that. And so that's ultimately what ended up getting me into real estate. So I went through the buy and holds, discovered I don't really like tenants and toilets. And then, with a really great investor mentor, discovered that there's all these different facets that you can play inside of real estate. And so I just continued to explore all the different ones to figure out which one called to me. And at the end of the day, it was being the bank. I've had a hedge fund, did about 500 fix and flips, had several Airbnb portfolios. But at the end of the day, I just love being the bank. So I'm a numbers nerd. I'm a spreadsheet nerd. That's my little happy place. If we could put everything and everyone into spreadsheets, that would be awesome. But we can't, but we can put numbers and real estate there. So that's where I have my fun. Yeah.
Fantastic. No, that's fantastic. So So that has led you to doing a couple other things, and your primary, and if I'm going to just say it because I know the world needs to hear it. You are adopted. You were adopted, correct?
Yes, so that's actually really good. So why did I get into real estate and wanting to be successful? It's to bring awareness to this. So I created the Bell Community Empowerment Foundation, and the whole purpose is to bring awareness to adopting kids out of foster care. I went through multiple homes as a kid, a horrible childhood, and I was finally adopted when I was 16. And my brothers and I, and hands down, I'm clear I am the woman I am today because of my parents that adopted me. They're extraordinary. And I went on, when Christopher and I got married, we discovered we couldn't have kids. And it was through, funny enough, a church bulletin that we discovered this whole program. And what it is it's called Foster Adopt. And so it is children that end up in the foster care system that are not going to ever get out of the foster care system due to the action or inaction of the birth parents. And so what happens is they go on to another path, so to speak, where they become adoptable. Okay, so as foster parents, we can become foster parents as foster parents to continue to, have multiple kids in and out of the home, or become foster adopt parents, meaning we become foster parents with the intent to adopt. So what happens is we only have children placed with us that are adoptable. They've already been, it's already been determined that this is the direction it's going, so that's the path we ended up going on. And we ended up getting twin babies. They were 4 months old when we got them, Sarah and Jordan. They're now 17. It's been a journey. And it's funny enough that they actually look like me. So people don't actually know that they're not, biologically
my together
kids.
So much. They just took on your characteristics, huh?
Right. Yeah. So the whole process was fascinating, but it just became, the more I got educated on the whole process, here's the reality. There's over 500,000 children in the U.S. foster care system. 350,000 are available for adoption right now. Wow. It costs less than $1,000 to adopt these kids. And so I'm here to bring awareness to make that happen. And here's my goal. My goal is that there's over 350,000 congregations in this country. I believe that if each congregation took on my challenge of signing a pledge to find one family to adopt one child, we could absolutely get this done in my lifetime. So our nonprofit has created a grant program where the grants that are created when a church pledges that this is what they're going to do, then they partner up with an adoption agency that specializes in this type of adoption, because we don't want families going directly to foster care, because that's its whole own separate thing. But so the adoption agency that specializes in this type of adoption, then they become the buffer between the foster care system and the family, so the family can just focus on being a family with these kids and finding the right children to be able to place with them to adopt. And so here's the really cool piece about it. There's so many, I'm just excited about the impact of all of this. Like if we think about it, because I'm a numbers nerd, think about 350,000 children now get adopted out of the foster care system. That's literally billions of dollars of taxpayer money that no longer has to be directed there. Mm-hmm. But here's the bigger piece. On the back end, statistically, when kids age out of the foster care system, they end up drugs, prostitution, and incarcerated. There's a whole other tax burden to deal with all of that. So now we've literally lifted billions of dollars of tax burden on the front end and on the back end. But here's the part that I'm super excited about. What if 1% of those children got as inspired and excited and empowered as I did, to go out and make a difference in the world? just as I have. That'd be 3,500 kids that grow up to be adults that go out and seriously make an impact in the world in the most extraordinary ways. How extraordinary would that be? And then all these families that have all these amazing kids. So here's my experience of being adopted as an older kid. I was so extremely grateful to have a forever family that loved me, nurtured me, took care of me, and still does. I love them like mad. It literally changed the course of my life forever. Absolutely. So I'm sure it was a challenge for my adopted parents, but I'm still their favorite. So it couldn't have been that bad. So there's just a level of gratitude that older kids come with and that they have in a whole different perspective. So that's just something to think about. So that's what I'm up to. And, what I'd like everybody to participate in is any churches that want to sign the pledge to be a part of that, adoption agencies that want to be a part of that, and anybody that wants to, give and contribute to be a part of creating those grants for these churches and adoption agencies. Because again, I believe we can get this done in my lifetime.
Well, we will. I have no doubt we will, because that's our whole goal. And that's why this network has been created, is so that we can all come together for whatever your goal is, whatever your dream is. And there's no reason we can't do this together. So my whole goal and my mission is to see not just what I want to accomplish, but it's more rewarding to see all the lives that we're going to save and we're going to change. Because I think the statistics are probably very, very high on the kids that get adopted or get adopted to the wrong families, or they're fostered. There's a whole side, and a lot of people don't want to deal with it. And I have found there's almost an embarrassment for quite a few people to even admit that they're adopted. Like, it's almost like, they want to have the regular mom and dad.
Okay, good. So I want to bring that. I want to bring that, because there is an embarrassment. Even my kids, they were picked on at school. And so just like me, here's the reality. Any kid that gets picked on, or adult that gets picked on, they were adopted. Here's the reality. This is what I'd say. Listen, I was chose. Your parents were stuck with you. They didn't get to choose. They chose me. They were stuck with you. Let me tell you, it shut down a whole lot of nasty kids in my life. And my kids have since used that with other nasty kids. And it has shifted everything, because they're literally chosen. They're the chosen ones.
Yeah, and I love that wording. I think too, because with your cause and what your goal is, and this is really your life purpose. Obviously, you went through this situation, and you're nobody else can talk to it the way you can speak to it, and that's what's so beautiful about being put, and so many nonprofits and foundations are being put together, because somebody's went through something like that, and they've experienced, so they can relate to others. Right. So I just think that what you're doing, wouldn't it be great to break the cycle and change the stigma around adoption? Yes. And put it as, wow, this is such a great thing. How many lives have we changed? How many kids have broke the cycle because they were brought into a beautiful family that loved them and nurtured them, and they chose them? And what's that going to do? Even for, my big cause is domestic violence. So what's that going to do to help change that cycle, so that kids aren't going through that and experiencing that? So right. I just see getting the kids the adoption and all of this. It's going to be a win-win, and it's a huge global cause. So I know we're working right now on the United States, but I know us using this as a pilot to make it happen, it's going to have such a ripple effect, and it's going to wind up being on a global scale. There's no question. So, this past, or 2 weekends ago, we went to an annual event that happens with another organization called OCJ Kids. And what they do is they bring all these kids who are in group homes, because there's not enough foster homes. And so it's like modern day orphanages. They bring them all together for a day, and they get to go bowling, and they just get to have fun all day. And so we got to be volunteers and just go be with them to have fun. And so it was really fascinating. I ended up being with a group of older boys, and we were having this whole experience. Some of these boys had never bowled before, and so they were getting like a lot of gutter balls. And so the boys were like between the ages of
14 to 17. And so one of the boys was like, can we just have the bumpers? And I just looked at him. I'm like, no, you cannot, because there's no bumpers in life. Here's what it comes down to. See that arrow right down the center? That's your goal. That's what you need to laser focus on. You need to go up there and pick up that ball, and you need to focus on exactly what you want, because that's what life is about. And so these boys, no kidding, like all of them looked at me like, who is this crazy lady? So they all went up, grabbed onto these balls, and focused on exactly that center arrow. They crushed it. Deborah, they crushed it, because awesome. all the scores get tallied up against all the other lanes. They crushed it. And so at the end, I was like, listen, this is a metaphor for your life. Whatever you focus on, that is exactly the outcome that you're going to get. So I invite you to consider, I was where you were at your age, and now look where I'm at now. Like, pretty dang successful because of what I chose to focus on. I said, you don't get to do anything about your circumstances. It's not your fault you're here, but what you do with it, that's what matters. I'm like, so take all of that, all of those emotions that you have around this, and laser focus it into what you want to do with your life and become extraordinary. And so these boys were like, it was amazing. And then there was a whole other interaction that happened. My daughter was there, and, all the kids are sitting around their phones doing this. And they were all, talking to each other and stuff. And one of the kids asked what group home my daughter was in, not realizing she was there volunteering. And my daughter just like stopped and put down her phone and was like, I was adopted. And the kids all in this circle stopped and looked at her and went, you're one of the lucky ones.
Oh,
I mean, it changed her life forever. She got to be one of the lucky ones. I got to be one of the lucky ones. So all those kids, we can have them be the lucky ones.
Yes. And we will. We
right?
will. It's already
350,000.
Yes. We talked about this probably 6 or 8 months ago, and it's coming to fruition. My company's coming to fruition. It's all getting together and supporting one another. So I really encourage you, those of you that have those dreams and have those desires, or you want to get with Catherine and you want to volunteer and be part of this, I'm sure you would love to have some adopted, folks in there, parents in there. That is really what she's looking for also, is a group of like-minded people on the same mission. She's already started the nonprofit and foundation. There's no reason for you to have to go out and take a second out on your home to go start this. She's already done it. So work together for this cause with Catherine, instead of we see 50,000 nonprofits go under every year. What if we combined efforts, instead of trying to create, everybody wants their own or their name on this, but that's not what it's about. It's really about saving lives and serving people and serving. And it's much easier for someone to come in and sponsor one nonprofit and get everybody to win, instead of trying to sponsor 5 or 6 nonprofits that are doing the exact same thing. So how can we combine efforts? How can we find people's strengths when you're doing this nonprofit? Catherine's the number girl. She's the best person that you could have running the budget, the numbers, the figures, the whole thing. So why not get with somebody like that, use your gift zone and your strengths, and create something really massive that really will make a difference. If you feel that is your purpose and your life mission here for the rest of your days, we want to have you involved in this, no question about it. Yeah. And then there's a last thing I wanted to touch on. I know we're about to run out of time, but I think this is very important, because you are so gifted and so talented in the financial area and also with kids. What have you created to help financial literacy? You guys, listen to this program. This is a game changer. This is truly a game changer. So I'm going to let you talk before I run up too much time. Go ahead.
So what I did was, it was my last mom checkbox that I needed to teach my kids before they go into the world, and it's financial literacy, teaching them about how to add commas, make commas, keep commas, and grow commas inside of their bank accounts. And so knowing that the school system, there's no way they're getting that there or even in college. So I decided to start a family mastermind, and it started with the three of us, and then it grew. It grew from there. And we ended up having over 40 people impacted. So I created a family mastermind, and we met every second Friday, and we had homework, and we had all these things we had to do. And the whole family came all the way up to grandparents and everybody in between. It was amazing how many people wanted to know how to do this. And so out of just our own little family mastermind, we added up. I just had everybody tell me how much more money they made. They made, well, combined over $100,000 more in this past 12 months. They eliminated over $75,000 in debt combined, and invested over $50,000 combined. And everybody had their emergency funds funded. So then more people have asked me, how do I bring this back to my family? So we put together a program to actually teach people how to facilitate this inside of their family. And so the profits from this are going to come to the nonprofit as well. And we're going to bring awareness so that the families that are adopting these kids as well, that they can participate in this program to be able to teach their families and these foster kids, all of it. It's a huge ripple effect. Money is like oxygen. The more we have, the easier it is to breathe. The more we can breathe, and the more we have, the more we can give to the world, and the bigger the difference we can make. So it all ties in together. I love it. So yeah, extraordinary.
Yes, absolutely. So we've got a few minutes left, but what I'd like to do is, you have such an amazing story, and the one, you have lots of them, but this one I don't know why, I don't know why I like this one so much. Maybe it's because down the road I hope I wind up in the same situation as you. But Catherine was I think this is great. I'm going to bring up dating. I know it's totally thrown off, but this woman is so happy. I want you to tell us how you met, your somebody, your Mr. Special, because I think it's really important for people to hear this also. And I don't know a better time to bring it up, of course. So go ahead.
Love it.
Talk about it.
So, as my husband, after almost 20 years of being together, passed away unexpectedly. And it broke my heart. I was broken to a billion pieces. And I never imagined that. To me, I was going to be married to one man for the rest of my life. So this, he honored his vows, but certainly not in the way that we planned. So some girlfriends, after a few years, had encouraged me to get out there and start dating, because I was too young to roll over and just be a dead widow. And so I was like, okay, whatever. So I was out to I was like, this doesn't work, online dating, da da da. So I was like, whatever, I'll do it just to prove it doesn't work. So, but in the meantime, it goes along with, my company's vision is that we leave every person, property, and community better than we found them. It's just who I am. It's who I am throughout every part of my life. And so I took on dating and went on lots and lots of dates. And my whole thing was that I wasn't planning on meeting Mr. Right or Mr. Right Now, whatever, because a man is not a financial plan. So that was never, part of it for me. But what I was going to do is I was going to leave every man better than I found him on every date. And that's exactly what I did. So I went on the date, and throughout the date became very, very clear that we weren't a fit. And so I found a way to have the conversation very authentically and transparently, and have them come to the realization that we weren't a fit, but I didn't want them to feel rejected. So ultimately, I got them to say that we weren't a fit, so they wouldn't feel rejected by me. And then ultimately, I ended up providing some sort of coaching or something for them to get to the next level of be the man they wanted to be, to attract the caliber of woman they wanted to attract. And so anyways, that was the fun that I had. And, little did I know, I actually met my, future husband, my fiance, and left him better than I found him, but he's still here. We're building an empire together and just building a really beautiful, extraordinary life. But inside of that, leaving a whole lot of men better than I found them. And that's what we can do as women.
And what was it? Do you mind sharing what you put on your mirror? Your vision?
Oh, yes.
We manifest what we put on. This is great. This is great. Men and women, but listen to this. This is pretty good.
So I can't remember which book it came from. It is so many different books. I read a lot. And so what I ended up writing on my mirror, I took a Sharpie and I wrote, or a dry erase, and I wrote, God and the universe are conspiring to have my heart's deepest desires come true. After we had been dating for a while, I looked up and I didn't realize he put his name inside of there. So it now reads, God, the universe, and Steve are conspiring to have my heart's deepest desires come true.
It's really amazing when we put it out there and we act on that and we put it out there. We've heard of people vision boards and different things that people have done, and years later it happens. So I hate to have to wrap it up because you and I could sit and chat, for hours. But this episode has definitely come to an end, and I hope you guys got some great nuggets from Catherine Bell. Definitely you will be able to find Catherine in the replay on my YouTube channel, the McKinsey Global Network, or go to my website, the McKinsey Global Network. Her video will be uploaded and her contact information, and we can put something on there to donate to. Correct? We can make it where a button pops up or something. We'll do something with that. So
absolutely. And I just want to say one more thing. It's like anybody that doesn't know Deborah, you've got to get to know her. She is hands down the most generous woman I've ever come across and the most connected. So it's like just having a conversation with her, her brain just starts spinning 5 bajillion miles an hour. And all of a sudden she's like connecting you to all these extraordinary people. So you are a rainmaker and a magic maker, and everybody on the planet needs to know you and be connected to you. So I really want to encourage that because I just love you dearly.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm going to receive that because normally I don't receive it. So I'm going to receive that. It's one area I am working on. So guys, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you got some great nuggets, and stay tuned. We're not done. We have 20 episodes. And they're running a week long. So continue to plug in. And if you have any feedback, suggestions, I would love to hear that. Anything that you're working on, I really would love to hear that, because at the McKinsey Network, our whole goal and mission is that every connection creates an impact. See you next time.